About a lot of political things, but underneath all of that is the Bible. I am unapologetically 100% in favor of it is the Bible. Jesus is the Word. There is no delineation. If the Bible says it, that's what Jesus is, and that's what Jesus believes. That's what this podcast is actually about, is to actually alert people to what is coming and what is our responsibility in the midst of it.
Hello and welcome to the Tom Laipply Podcast. I'm Aaron. I will be your host for tonight, covering for Tom. Usually I'm not in this seat. Usually I'm in the other seat, but I've got Joe in my seat. I've got Brent where he normally is on a Friday, so we're all switched around and stuff. So welcome. Hopefully you won't tune off. I know that I've got a face for radio and a voice for print, but we're going to try to get through this. Want to just say hey to everybody in the chat. I'm not going to read your names because it's too much for me. I can't do it. I can't do what Tom does, and scrolling down, I can't do it. So I'm just going to go ahead and jump in. I've got a video that as I was prepping for the podcast, I saw this, and I had to play it. So go ahead and play that video for me.
Also wrote The Lessons of History, very brief, 100-page book, in which he said, well, history proves that, unfortunately and unhappily, Jesus Christ has no advantage over Genghis Khan. Because if you are strong enough, ruthless enough, powerful enough, evil will overcome good. Aggression will overcome moderation. So you have no choice. If you look at the world as it is today, you have to be blind not to see that the democracies led by the United States have to reassert their will to defend themselves and to oppose their enemies in time while there's still time, before the jarring gong of danger wakes them up and wakes them up too late. This is where we are now. The fact that people don't see that, the fact that a lot of the news media are harking on a lot of fake news, but also a lot of short-sightedness, and do not see the historic period and the historic struggle that we are engaged in now, doesn't obviate these truths.
Okay. Wow, a lot there. Okay, so apparently, according to Benjamin Netanyahu, Jesus doesn't have any advantage over Genghis Khan. That apparently, if you're not ruthless enough, then good will be overcome by evil. Okay, so that is what a lot of Christians will say is the leader of the country of Israel, our greatest ally, and God's chosen people. I'm going to go into that in a second, but I want to just update some stuff. I've got a couple things. So first we're going to go into, listen, I'm sick of talking about Iran war as well, but it's the biggest thing happening right now. There's updates to that. The first thing I want to say is we're on day 20 now of this war, which Donald Trump told us. First of all, obviously he said no new wars, which we're in a war, but they don't call it a war. But they said no new wars. We're in a war. We're on day 20. It was supposed to be over in a couple days. Then it was maybe like 3 weeks, and we're basically in the end of the third week. But here we are, and put up that, yeah, there you go. The Pentagon is now seeking more than $200 billion in budget requests for Iran war. We just crossed 39 trillion today. Well, it wasn't today. It was actually, I think it was 2 days ago. $39 trillion in debt now. And the first 6 days of the war was 11.3 billion, and that was bad. That was like, even people that are for the war were like, yeah, that's a little much. I'm not into that, especially because of the fact that we're $39 trillion in debt. Okay, well, they're seeking 200 billion more for this. I thought it was supposed to be over. Guys.
No.
Was it?
September.
Yeah, September
We're
now.
gonna go to September.
Yeah, it was a couple weeks, and now it's September, and $200 billion. That doesn't sound like it's going to be over in September. And I can tell you what, I wasn't alive for the Vietnam War, but this is what happens every single time we enter a conflict, we enter a war, it's this trickle effect. You have, it's a, couple soldiers. We're going to send in the Marines, just a few of them. Trump said we're going to send in 2,500 of them. Then it changed to 5,000. We're never going to put boots on the ground, though, even though technically that's 5,000 boots on the ground. But we're not going to send in like the army. We're not going to do any of that. But we're seeking $200 billion to continue this. I don't understand. Go ahead and go to the next one for me. This video is, we're just going to play the video by itself. And this is Pete Hegseth talking about the $200 billion. Go ahead and play it for me.
$200 billion. I think that number could move, obviously. It takes money to kill bad guys. So we're going back to Congress and our folks there to ensure that we're properly funded for what's been done, for what we may have to do in the future, ensure that our ammunition everything's refilled, and not just refilled, but above and beyond. I mean, President Trump, as he said, rebuilt the military in his first term, didn't think he'd use it as dynamically in his second, but he had. So thank goodness he did that. And an investment like this is meant to say, hey, we'll replace anything that was spent. And now that we're reviving our defense industrial base and rebuilding the arsenal of freedom and cutting deals like our great deputy secretaries here is doing, long lead times on exquisite munitions, we're going to be refilled faster than anyone imagined.
I don't understand. Listen. Okay, there's people that are watching that are like, you're young, you don't know anything. That's probably true. But here's the thing. I voted for Donald Trump every time he ran, specifically because no new wars. I remember watching as a child, as a kid, I remember watching us attacking Iraq. It was on like CNN. It was like a night raid, and you could see like the bombs dropping and we're blowing up the city. And again, we're going after, Saddam Hussein, even though he had nothing to do with September 11th, because we're trying to find, it doesn't make any sense. It's all the terrorists that we found their passports, by the way, in the rubble. I mean, buildings fell. Everything was destroyed to smithereens, but we found their passports laying on the rubble. So that's not suspicious at all. But they're all Saudis. Like, I don't understand. And then we go into Iran because Benjamin Netanyahu has been wanting to go to war with Iran for, 30 years now, 40 years almost. I don't understand. I didn't vote for that. I didn't want a George W. Bush. Unfortunately, the first person that I voted for was Mitt Romney because it was Obama versus Mitt Romney. I should have been smart enough then to just go, I'm not going to vote. I'm not going to vote for a Democrat. I know some people will say, in order to stick it to the Republican Party, vote for a Democrat just so they lose. I'm not going to do that, but I certainly don't want my hands covered in the blood of innocent civilians and vote for this again. But I'm going to vote for J.D. Vance, created by Palantir. No, thank you. I'm going to vote for Marco Rubio, who is also a rhino. He's doing a good act right now. J.D. Vance is trying to distance himself from the Iran war so that it can look like, oh, well, when he runs and he tries to take over MAGA in 2028, well, then he can kind of say, well, I was against the war, because it's going to blow up in our face. Ron Paul has talked about it before. I actually wanted Ron Paul to win. I voted for him in the primary, but he didn't make it, unfortunately. But you've got J.D. Vance distancing himself so that when this whole debacle blows up in everybody's faces, he can say, well, I wasn't for that. I don't get it. Again, We're at another $200 billion being requested to continue this war, this non-war war. The last war that we actually said was a war was World War II. But I would assume that everybody considers Vietnam to have been a war. I would assume that everybody considers Korea to be a war. The Persian Gulf Wars. Like, those are wars. If I've said this before in the chat, if you had the exact same scenario happen on American soil, where the White House gets bombed by, let's say, China bombed the White House, okay, and killed Donald Trump and his wife and his kids and all this different stuff, okay, you as an American citizen, whether you like Donald Trump or not, you could be a Democrat and you didn't vote for Donald Trump. You'd still consider that an act of war. Okay, was Pearl Harbor just a combat operation? No, it was freaking war. We went to war. Congress declared war. In 1973, Congress decided, actually, we're going to give that power to the president. He'll be able to declare war for a short period of time, 60 days. But it's still war. Okay?
It's like calling abortion healthcare.
Correct. It's like, I just don't understand.
Which is what they do, and now we're doing it.
Totally. Again, you're calling something. Let's call a spade a freaking spade, okay? We're at war. And I didn't want that. I want mass deportations to where literally you can't even keep up with it in the news. Like CNN, NBC, they're not going to be able to say, Kilmar Abrego, the Maryland man. They're not going to be able to point to one. There's going to be hundreds of thousands. There's going to be millions. But there's not. I agree that Donald Trump did an amazing job with shutting down the southern border. Here's the problem, though. Where's the rest of the freaking border wall? People don't understand, like, the big picture of things. They see, like, short-term gains, right? And that, by the way, is what the narrative on the right is with the Iran war is, short-term pain for long-term gain. Okay, if you buy that, you're no better than a Democrat. Sorry. I'm sorry. We just disagree fundamentally. Again, what Tom says all the time, we can agree with what we want the country to look like, and we can even vote for the same kind of people and stuff. But on that, I'm going to just hardcore disagree with you. It's propaganda. I'm sorry. I'm not buying it. But again, you've got this situation where we're $39 trillion in debt. We're in a new war. We're not mass deporting people. The southern border is closed. That was what I was going to say is the southern border. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, $39 trillion in debt. Okay. Yeah, let's add another $200 billion. $200 billion to that. So that 39, and then it would be a 2, not a 0. Guys, come on. I didn't vote for this. Again, the southern border is closed. You did a great job with that. But if you don't finish the border wall, the next president, if it's a Democrat, can overturn any executive order. Executive orders, you can't rule the country through executive orders because you're just going to constantly be flipping it every single time there's a new president. Okay? You actually have to codify things. There's a reason why we have a system set up by the Constitution that we do. We're not following it, but there's a reason that we do that. It should be hard to go to war. When we accidentally, because again, there were people that were debating this in the chat before, but when we accidentally bomb a school and kill 175 schoolgirls, okay, that's innocent life. I don't care if they're Muslim. I don't care if they're Jewish. I don't care if they're Buddhist. I don't care. They're innocent children. Even if they weren't children, they were adults. They're innocent people. They didn't do anything. How would you feel if, again, China is attacking our country in a combat operation? It's not a war, but they're attacking our country, and they accidentally blew up the elementary school down the road. Again, it's like so callous that I can't even bear it. Another new thing with this war is Israel decided to strike the South Pars gas field in Iran. Yeah, go ahead and play that. Okay, like, what does this have to do with anything? They're just trying to destroy any hope that if the Iranian people did rise up against, the new Khomeini, the new Ayatollah, all right? And they installed a democracy, whatever that means, because now democracy doesn't even mean what it's supposed to mean. Again, reminder, we're not a democracy, we're a constitutional republic, just so everybody's clear. But even if they do rise up, what are you going to do with that? What does that have to do with anything?
It's regime change, Aaron.
Well, yeah, it wasn't supposed to be, though. Wasn't supposed to be a regime change war.
That's how you change a regime. You bomb their oil.
Yeah, exactly. And here's the thing, too. I should have pulled these because it just really, ticks me off. But in 2014, 2012, there were multiple of them. Donald Trump tweeted, watch, Barack Obama's going to attack Iran because he's, weak and all this different stuff. Okay, that didn't age well. Okay, you're the one that's aiding Israel and attacking Iran. So go to the next. What's the next one? Okay, perfect. Can you put that? Yeah, preview that for me just so I can read that out. So with that strike, that airstrike, this was the information that was out before. The next thing I'm going to put up is Donald Trump's statement on it. This was what was put out. This was the information that we knew at the time about this. Trump approved the South Pars strike, but now wants to stop. U.S. officials say Trump knew about Israel's attack on Iran's biggest gas field in advance and supported it as a message over the Hormuz blockade. But now he wants no more strikes on Iranian energy infrastructure, believing Tehran got the message. This is the pattern. Israel pushes the envelope, Trump goes along, then pulls back when the consequences start hitting global markets. Oil just crossed $110 a barrel, and the South Pars strike knocked out Iraq's electricity supply and triggered Iranian retaliation on Qatar's Ras Laffam hub. Okay, pause real quick. So that attack not only affected Iran, but it also affected Iraq, and then they retaliated against Qatar. Okay, what does Qatar have to do with it? Well, I'm going to go into this is just my brain and how it works. You can follow along, you can disagree, you can agree. This is just how my brain works. What if there's more going on behind the scenes than what we think? That's what I think.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. Come on. It's not ever at face value, okay? You got to take everything with a grain of salt. I don't care if your guy won and he's the president or he's whatever. Really, you shouldn't believe anything or anyone but the Bible and what Jesus says. Even though, again, Benjamin Netanyahu says that Jesus has no advantage over Genghis Khan. Yeah, we'll leave that there because I could rage about that for an hour. But Qatar also produces oil. Iraq produces oil. Kuwait produces oil. A lot of these Arab countries produce oil. They have a lot of oil. What if, because apparently there's information saying that Qatar also knew that attack was going to happen by Israel, what if they were working together in order to knock out Iran's oil infrastructure so that Israel says, hey, listen, we're going to start buying oil from you. Okay, well, then Qatar would be in on it. If Iran knew that would be the reason why they attacked Qatar's LNG plant. Okay, now Trump is like, whoa, this is escalating. I didn't want it to get this far. Iran got the message. Go to Trump's response to this. Israel, out of anger for what has taken place in the Middle East, has violently lashed out at a major facility known as South Pars gas field in Iran. A relatively small section of the whole has been hit. The United States knew nothing about this particular attack. Again, pause. Leadership said that he did know and that he approved it. But then he says he had no idea. It reminds me of when Marco Rubio comes out and essentially says that the reason that we are at war with Iran is because Israel was going to strike them and we wanted to join them in order to where we're not, on the sidelines of this, so that we're actually in front of it. Then people call him out and goes, wait a minute, so you're telling me that the reason that we're at war with Iran is because of Israel? And then he's like, no, that's not what I said, actually. It is what you said, Marco. Sorry. But he's like, no, that's not actually what I said. What I meant was this. Okay, well, people close to Trump in the administration said that Trump knew and said that he wanted it to happen, that he authorized it. Okay, but now he's saying the United States knew nothing about this particular attack, and the country of Qatar was in no way, shape, or form involved with it, nor did it have any idea that it was going to happen. Okay, I'm sorry, guys, I don't buy it. I don't buy it. When stuff blows up in Trump's face, he's like, oh, no, I didn't know anything. I didn't know. I had no idea. But now we want it to stop. Okay, it's the same thing with the Joe Kent thing, and I've got that. I'm going to expand on that a little bit more later. But with Joe Kent, before he nominated him, he was saying, the guy is fantastic. He's wonderful. He's the best person ever. And then when Joe resigns, then he's like, well, he sounded like a nice guy. Didn't know him very well, but he was weak on security. You put him in charge of counterterrorism, dude. Which one is true, right? Like, which one's right? I don't know what to believe with Trump anymore. Is it the first thing he says, or then stuff blows up and then it's the second thing he says? Does he have no clue what's going on? Or does he actually know and he doesn't care? Or he knows it blows up and then he's like, oh, well, I can't. It's not my fault. It can't be my fault. Okay, I'm sorry. Again, like, I voted for Trump too. This is not what I wanted. I don't want to be denigrating him. You know what's easier? What would be way easier? It would be easier for people in the chat to not, hate me, because I've had some personal attacks on there. And I'm sorry, like, guys, in the chat, just so you're aware, I only ban people. I don't ban people if you disagree with our position. I ban people if you start doing personal attacks. Sorry, like, relax. Like, I'm not attacking you. I'm attacking this. You're not Trump. You're not in the Trump administration. Why would I attack you? I voted for him too. I'm equally responsible for this. So, again, it's all good. Relax. Just enjoy the show, But, okay, unfortunately, Iran did not know this about Qatar not knowing anything about this, or any of the pertinent facts pertaining to the South Pars attack, and unjustifiably and unfairly attacked a portion of Qatar's LNG gas facility. No more attacks will be made by Israel. Okay. I'm gonna do what Tom does. I'm gonna take a poll in the room. How many of us believe that there's gonna be no more attacks by Israel? You could put yourselves on so we can see the hands. Raise your hand if you believe that Israel is not gonna attack without Trump's knowledge.
Fool me 5 times.
Yeah. Okay, that's
Fool
0.
me 6 times.
Yeah, that's 0 out of 3.
0.
0. They're gonna do whatever the heck they want. They always have. And we get dragged into this stuff. They're not our biggest ally. They're actually one of our biggest problems, because they have a goal in mind. And I'm going to, is that next? No, I've got the
Tulsi Gabbard.
Yeah, I got Tulsi Gabbard. Okay, just throw Tulsi up, because right after Tulsi, I've got, there you go. This is our director of national intelligence, okay? Should be a pretty smart person. I was pro Tulsi. I was actually excited that she joined the ticket. Tulsi sold shirts saying no war with Iran when she was running for president. What happened with that? She claims that Iran did not try to rebuild their enrichment capacity following the June 2025 attacks. You know what we were told by the White House is that it was obliterated. We attacked Fordo, and all their nuclear capabilities are gone for forever. We never have to worry about Iran again.
Mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished, yeah. That sounds eerily familiar. If I remember correctly, it was George W. Bush on a carrier with a banner behind him that said mission accomplished, like a year into the Iraq, not war, combat operation.
Right.
Mission accomplished. Okay, if the DNI says that, again, you can say all you want. Like, here's the default position of people who are like super whatever Trump says is like golden and I'm going to believe everything. They'll say, oh, well, Tulsi was a Democrat. Yeah, she was a Democrat. And here's the thing. She switched sides because she realized how stupid the Democrats are. She is anti-war. She served. Okay? Like, she's an anti-war person. So she's going to go with the person who promised no new wars. She clearly is smart enough, if we believe Trump again, she's clearly smart enough to be the DNI. He nominated her. So all of a sudden now she's not smart enough and she's a turncoat traitor and she was an ex-Democrat and whatever. Okay, well then why did Trump put her in? Again, which one do you believe? Do you believe the first statement? Do you believe the second? I don't know anymore. I have no idea. Go to the next one. Okay, so this is a video that I'm just gonna. You can go ahead and pause it real quick. This is a video that we're gonna play, and you can just put it just the video of how difficult it's gonna be to fully actually go to war with Iran if we do end up putting boots in the ground, which again, $200 billion more dollars. Like, I don't know, guys. I'm not buying the no boots on the ground. Go ahead and play it.
Do you know that it is a gigantic task to launch a ground invasion in Iran? Let's analyze. Iran's geography is a natural fortress. Encircled by towering mountain ranges, it naturally repels invaders. From the west, the Zagros Mountains run 1,600 kilometers along Iraq, with peaks over 4,000 meters and narrow passes that choke armor and expose convoys. This is the reason why during the 1980s Iran-Iraq War, Iraqi troops took Khorramshahr but stalled in Khuzestan foothills, trapped by terrain in an 8-year stalemate, costing over 1 million total casualties. To the north, the Alborz Mountains shield Tehran, abruptly climbing from the Caspian Sea's shores, funneling any assault into deadly choke points. Eastern borders with Afghanistan feature jagged uplands prone to flash floods. The interior? Vast, scorching deserts like Dasht-e-Kavir's salt flats and Dasht-e-Lut's 158-degree heat. Quicksand for vehicles is hell for troops. Southern coasts along the Persian Gulf lead straight into Zagros foothills, complicating amphibious landings. Spanning 1.65 million square kilometers, Iran's terrain would demand immense logistics. It also favors the decentralized Mosaic defense doctrine of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, ensuring local units continue fighting even if the capital falls. If anyone knows history, ground invasion of Iran isn't just tough, it's a strategic nightmare.
Sounds easy to me. I mean, why not just go in there? I mean, again, people are saying just kill them all, just nuke them. Guys, again, like, dude, how out of the population of Iran, how many of those do you think are actually evil people? Yeah, again, they're Muslims. I'm against Islam, but I'm against Judaism too. Judaism has nothing to do with Christianity. Judaism, just a quick history lesson for everybody. Judaism was created as basically a protest against their temple being destroyed and them being taken over and hating Jesus, okay? Jews believe that Jesus is burning in hell in boiling excrement. That's poop, okay? By the way, again, I'm not defending Islam, but Islam at least believes that he was a prophet. Okay, the Jews think that he's in hell. I'm against both sides. You don't have to pick a side. I'm just telling you right now, black pill yourself on this issue and say, I choose neither side. I don't like Israel. I don't like Iran. But when it comes to killing innocent civilians in either country, I'm against it, okay? I have a son now who's a little over 1 year old. Okay, if somebody touches my son, I'm going to kill you. like he is innocent. I might not be innocent. You can hate on me all you want. That's fine. I probably deserve it. But like, you touch my son, he didn't do anything wrong. How many kids have been killed in this? How many kids have been killed, whether it be attacking Qatar, because Iran has attacked Qatar, Saudi Arabia. There's a bunch of other countries. I think they actually struck Syria as well. But multiple different countries. And again, innocent people are dying in all of these countries. What good does this do? What does this have to do with America first? I'm lost. I don't understand. I would pull a Tom and say, Joe, explain it to me. Like, help me out here.
Yeah.
I got nothing. You got anything, Brent?
No, I'm still confused on like this whole ordeal. I'm like a little behind on this war.
Yeah.
But like
combat operation.
Military operation, ongoing conflict, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, not a war.
But I'm like, I'm still like confused on like what's actually happening here.
I mean, I didn't vote for this. I'm sure you guys didn't vote for it either. So there is a plan here. Go ahead and put that side by side. There's a plan here. This is the plan. Israel wants to dominate the region and expand their borders. You can't really see it on that map, how tiny Israel is in comparison to what they want. But this is their plan. Benjamin Netanyahu, even, there was a video of him being gifted, like it was like a pin, like a commemorative kind of pin, and it had Greater Israel on it. And he basically said it was in Hebrew, but it translated to like, yeah, that's like in God's will, like that's going to happen. Okay, so they want to take over Syria, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, and not all of Saudi. They want to leave some of it. But almost all of Iraq, almost all of Syria, almost all of Kuwait, 25% of Saudi Arabia, a portion of Egypt. They want to take the Sinai Peninsula. They want to take over Lebanon. They want to take over Cyprus. Okay, that entire area. There's a reason why, okay? They want to rebuild the temple, which would be the third temple. They want to build that. They've already been doing their weird rituals with their 2 red heifers where they have to burn them before Mashiach, which is Hebrew for Messiah, comes. Okay, they are trying to build this greater Israel. They are trying to build the third temple so that they can usher in the Messiah. Okay, well, I've got news for you guys. The Messiah already came, and his name is Jesus. So what Messiah are they trying to usher in? That would be the Antichrist. Mm-hmm. Revelation 2:9 and Revelation 3:9 talk about a specific group of people. It would be those that call themselves Jews but are not. And they are referred to as the synagogue of Satan. Okay? The synagogue of Satan is who is trying to usher in the Antichrist. The synagogue of Satan is who's trying to rebuild the third temple. And they need our military might and our strength to be able to help them to accomplish this goal. Again, Iran would be their next door neighbors. Okay? They don't want a powerful Iran because if they are next door neighbors and they accomplish this, that's going to be a problem for them. So they need our help to wipe out all these countries. And guess what? We've attacked Syria. We've attacked Iraq. We're friends with Saudi Arabia, kinda. But again, if you believe the passport story with 9/11, those hijackers were Saudis. We supported the Arab Spring uprising in Egypt. We're not close with Lebanon. And in fact, Israel expands their strikes into southern Lebanon. Their claim is that they're going against Hezbollah. That just happened. So there hasn't been an attack with that since a 2024 ceasefire, but now that's off. So we've been allowing Israel to attack them with missiles and drone strikes. That's it, guys. That's the goal. Again, what does this have to do with America first? I didn't vote for this. I don't want this. I'm not against Israel as a country any more than I'm against Iran or Saudi Arabia. But, okay, they're not an ally. I'm sorry. They're not an ally. Again, if you go over to Israel, and we've played the videos before on the podcast where they're spitting on Christians who are trying to like walk the grounds where Jesus walked and go to the historic, holy sites and all that kind of stuff. Like, that's cool. I mean, I love history, so that's cool to go and experience that and stuff. I don't think it's like mega important, like as a Christian, to go like pilgrimage to Israel, but it's cool. It is cool. Okay, but they're just trying to like visualize their faith and just kind of see like where Jesus walked and stuff, and they're getting spit on. Again, just so you're aware, Jews refer to you and I as goyim, or goy for short. That means cattle. Okay, they view you as livestock, animals. And I actually found this is going to shock you. Again, this is not this is in their Talmud. Okay, people think that Judaism is like Christianity without Christ. No, again, that's false, because their religion, the religion of Judaism, is based off of the Talmud. I'm just going to read you a quick little tidbit from the Talmud. This is what they believe. This is in Mishnah Torah, okay? So you can look it up if you want. If, by contrast, a Jewish male enters into relations with a Gentile woman, that would be you and me, when he does so intentionally, she should be executed. She is executed because she caused a Jew to be involved in an unseemly transgression, as is the law with regard to an animal. So calling the Gentile woman an animal. This applies regardless of whether the Gentile woman was a minor of 3 years of age or an adult, whether she is single or married. Okay, so they're okay with a Jewish man having relations with a 3-year-old, but the 3-year-old has to be killed after because it made the Jew sin. Okay, I just can't. I'm not backing this. I'm not backing it, guys.
Kill the other guy.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I can't. Don't put me there, Brent. I just can't deal with it.
Go. Do it.
I can't. Go to the next one. Okay, so this is a video with Joe Kent. We're going to just go into the Joe Kent situation a little bit more. We already covered this week, but I want to go into another facet of this. This is Joe Kent talking about Charlie Kirk, talking about with the Iran war situation. And I want to say that on Laura Ingram's show on Fox, they're now pushing the narrative that Joe Kent was selling secrets and that he was a traitor and all this different stuff. Again, who put him in his position? Donald Trump did. So there can be a couple different options here. Either Donald Trump got it wrong and put the wrong man in charge of counterterrorism, which would be Trump's fault, or it's a lie to try to sully his reputation. Listen, I'm not a huge Joe Kent fan, okay? He's involved in the CIA and all this different weird stuff. You can look into him. But they're now saying that he sold secrets, he was a traitor, and all this kind of stuff. Okay, again, there's no proof of that. They're doing what the Democrats do, which is the news has to report on something. And then because the news reports on it, then Congress goes, oh, well, we heard on Fox that Joe Kent sold secrets. So now we're going to start an investigation on that. And then they investigate, and if they don't find anything, it's not like they're going to absolve him of his sins. They're not going to come out and be like, oh, well, we found nothing. It's going to be just noise at that point because you've already forgotten. What's important is that you know that the second that he resigns and blames Israel for this war, that you know that actually he resigned because he was a traitor, and we're going to investigate him. Go ahead and play the clip.
And then, Charlie Kirk is killed publicly in a very horrific way, and we're not really even allowed to look into that at all. And Charlie Kirk was one of President Trump's closest advisors, and he also advocated heavily against a war with Iran. He was in the Oval Office in the lead up to the 12-day war. I wasn't particularly close with Charlie. He was very gracious to me when I was running for Congress, very, very supportive. So we knew each other. And the last time I saw Charlie Kirk on this earth was in June in the West Wing, in the stairway. And I said hi to him, and he looked me in the eye, and he said very loudly, and it's a small, you've been in the West Wing, it's small, it's a tight space. And he said, Joe, stop us from getting into a war with Iran. Very loudly.
He was single-minded.
And he walked off, and he went, I believe, into the Oval. So when one of President Trump's closest advisors, who is vocally advocating for us to not go to war with Iran and for us to rethink at least our relationship with the Israelis, and then he's suddenly publicly assassinated, and we're not allowed to ask any questions about that, it's a data point. It's a data point that we need to look into.
What do you mean when you say we're not allowed to ask any questions about that?
We've been told that this individual, Robinson, is a lone gunman, and maybe he is. But the investigation that I was a part of, the National Counterterrorism Center was a part of, we were stopped from continuing to investigate. And the FBI will say that they stopped that because they wanted to turn everything over to the Utah state authorities. Everything's going to trial. It's very, very sensitive. But there was still a lot for us to look into that I can't really get into. But there was still linkage
for us to investigate that we needed to run down. And I'm not making any conclusions. I'm not saying
No, I don't think you are.
because of this happened. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying there's unanswered questions. We know the pressure because of the text messages that have been made public that Charlie was under a lot of pressure from a lot of pro-Israel donors. And again, we know Charlie was advocating to President Trump against this war with Iran.
Okay, so I've got multiple. This video was perfect for me because it ties in Joe Kent, it ties in Kash Patel, it ties in Charlie Kirk, and it ties in Iran. Okay, again, I'm not a huge Joe Kent fan, but he at least wanted to look into Tyler Robinson and actually see if he was a lone gunman, which anytime they say it's a lone gunman, don't believe them.
Never.
Don't believe them. It's never the case. It's always, whether it's like JFK. Some people say it was the mafia. Some people say it was Israel. Some people say it was the CIA because of like Lyndon Johnson, all these different things. Okay, no matter what, it wasn't a lone gunman, okay? The Tyler Robinson story makes no sense. And again, we've gone through that ad nauseum about how the heck he can put his gun together or have it taken apart in a backpack, get onto a roof, put it together, which you need two different, it's like a screwdriver and an Allen wrench, or an Allen key, basically, to put this gun together. Put it together, shoot the gun, kill Charlie Kirk, disassemble his weapon, stick it back into his backpack, jump off the roof, run into the woods, assemble the rifle again, put it in the woods, and then run away and wait for hopefully the cops to get away from that area so then he can go pick the gun back up, disassemble it, put it in a backpack, and run. Okay, again, like, you guys can chime in on this. If it was me, I would have just kept the gun in my backpack and ran for the freaking hills with the gun in my backpack. Okay, it has your fingerprints on it. It's got the residue from after you shot the gun on it, so it shows that it was just recently fired. Like, am I stupid, or would you guys like take the gun with you?
Yeah, the story obviously makes no sense, but it's just shocking how everything like this just gets swept under the rug, and it feels like people just don't even care anymore. Like,
yeah,
like
it's old news.
we all know that it's like not a plausible story at all, but like we've all moved on, and
Right.
it's just like another day.
And here's the thing, guys. Who stopped Joe Kent's investigation? That would be Kash Patel, another person that Donald Trump appointed to the director of the FBI. And again, you've heard Tom talk about it plenty of times where it's like, okay, where is Kash Patel? Where are the arrests? There's been Epstein files released with people's names in it that have actually taken part in something disgusting, okay? Nobody's arrested. Where's Pam Bondi? Is she like getting her hair done so she can go on Fox News and talk about, the Dow being over 50,000 again? Like, where are these people? Go ahead and put up this next one, because this is just a multiple. I'm going to go into just a diatribe here. Because again, I didn't vote for this, and I'm sure you didn't either. And again, if you are still like fully on the Trump train, good for you. I'm not. I wish I was. Again, it would be easier. It's easier to enter into just human nature. It's easier to be pro something and against something else because at least you have a pack. You have like a wolf pack that you can stay with, and you've got like people who support you and protect you, and we're going to attack the bad guys, the Democrats and all this. Okay, but what happens when you feel like both sides are corrupt and both sides suck? You're stuck in the middle and everybody hates you. Okay, well, that's kind of where I'm at. And it would be way easier to either be a full-blown GOP Republican or a full-blown Democrat. It's hard to be in the middle. Truth mainly lies in the middle. Everybody's got their extremes. You've got extreme right and extreme left and all this. And usually common sense is in between both. And both sides are going to attack you and both sides are going to hate you. Here's just something fun for you. On January 19th, 2021, Trump's last full day in office, he issued presidential commendations to the Operation Warp Speed team, including Fauci, for their work on the COVID-19 vaccine. Just 13 days earlier, on January 6th, his supporters were set up and thrown in jail, yet Anthony Fauci remains free. Again, you can agree with certain things that a person does, And you can, okay, here's an example. Like I said about the border wall, or the southern, not the wall, but the southern border being closed. If a Democrat did that, I'd be like, great, a Democrat actually did something good for once in their life. I mean, they're still going to burn in hell, but they actually did something good for the country. That is America first. They put America first. They closed the southern border. Okay, I'm allowed to agree with that person, even though overall I disagree with their policy positions. Overall, I disagree with their stance on abortion. I disagree with their stance on gay marriage. I disagree with fill in the blank. Higher taxes. Okay. But like this should be like a pretty simple one, okay? Hundreds of thousands of people, if not millions, have either a long-term health issue or have died from the vaccines. Donald Trump appointed Mike Pence to be in charge of the whole COVID thing. He appointed Anthony Fauci to lead that. He got the DOD involved to do Operation Warp Speed, to mass inject people. I remember when it was happening, I was like, there's no way Trump is like for this. And then he comes out with a video talking about, we're going to get the military involved. We're going to go door to door, vaccinating everyone. You're going to be safe. It's effective. And again, he still is talking about how great the vaccine was. He's like best friends with the CEO of Johnson & Johnson.
Yeah, he just got his latest shot, right?
He got his latest shot for COVID and got his latest shot for the flu.
He's still on board.
He's still on board. Okay, again, like, I didn't vote for that. I can be against certain things that he does. I wouldn't say that he's as bad as someone like George W. Bush. Okay, but we're getting there. Because here's the thing. This is what Donald Trump does really well at. He's really good at marketing. He's a businessman. Look at all of his Trump hotels, his casinos, even though they didn't fare well. But his casinos, all his stuff, he knows marketing, he knows branding. He's really good at like pumping stuff out. And with like the vaccine thing, he's pushing everybody to get vaccinated. Again, this is a typical Trump thing. Pushing everybody to get vaccinated. And then once he sees that his base is against that, then he stops talking about it. But he doesn't repent. He doesn't turn from it. He doesn't go like, I was wrong. The vaccines killed people. We'll never do it again, because he would have to admit fault. He doesn't do that. What he does is he just stops talking about it.
Yeah.
It's like our churches.
Yeah.
They closed for COVID, and now that COVID is over, we've all just decided that we're like anti-COVID lockdowns and stuff, and we've just gotten rid of it. Well, now it's all swept under the rug. Now we don't have to talk about it anymore. We don't have to talk about the fact that we social distanced and wore masks, and you couldn't go to, Starbucks and get a coffee with your friends. But you could go to strip clubs. Those were open.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
How much of what Trump does do you think would be like sinister, that he knows he's doing something wrong, versus like his advisors being sinister, or is it a mix?
Yeah, no, I think most of it is his advisors. I don't think that and this is the thing again, like, people will get mad when I get mad at Trump and call him out for certain things, but it just is what it is. The buck stops with you. You're the president of the United States. Okay, you can do executive orders. You can, push Congress to do things. You can tell Mike Johnson that you're going to rally against him to lose in his primary if he doesn't follow your agenda. Okay, you have power to do stuff. He listens to advisors that tell him, like Howard Lutnick, who was next door neighbors with Jeffrey Epstein, weirdly enough, went to his island with his family and his kids, weirdly enough, but he's our commerce secretary. He's advising him on not military, but financial policy and commerce policy. Apparently, and again, you can look this up, this is fact, his family were betting against the tariffs, so if the tariffs fail, they actually get really rich.
Yeah, as Trump, you'd have to know that, right?
Here's the problem. If he knows that, then he's being sinister. If he doesn't know that, then he's being an idiot. And again, you can be an idiot with a certain thing and be really smart with something else. I actually agree with the tariffs. I think that, but here's the problem though. He said that he would abolish the IRS and he'd replace it with tariffs. Okay, well, now we have both. So as somebody who likes to work,
It's twice as good, Aaron.
Yeah, exactly. Twice
Thank
as
you
good.
very much.
Yeah. I have a like a JDM, it's Japanese domestic market car, which is a Mazda Miata. It's a 1990. It's really cool. Joe has a Nissan 370Z for people that like cars and stuff. Those are Japanese cars. Okay, there are certain parts that I have to order from Japan. Okay, they're getting tariffed like crazy. I had to get it was a certain type of racing air filter for my car, and the tariffs added like another, it was like $200, and it added like another $40 or $50 to that. Okay, I had to pay for that. If there was the option for American, then what are tariffs supposed to do? Promote you buying American. Okay, well, I would have bought the American part. It's a Japanese part for a Japanese car. I had to buy the Japanese part. So I had to pay extra for the tariff, so that landed on me. Okay, again, I would be okay with that if I wasn't paying an income tax.
But Aaron, look at the tariff revenue.
Yeah, exactly. Look at the tariff.
I feel really rich, guys.
Well, yeah.
Have
See,
you seen
so
any of that? I've not seen any of that. Have you seen any?
I haven't gotten any checks.
No.
We were gonna get was it $2,000 checks?
$2,000
Yeah,
a
tariff checks.
taxpayer.
Yeah,
some stimmies.
Yeah, some stimmies. Give me some stimmies.
We all need the stimmies.
Yeah,
so.
I didn't get any of that. And here's the deal. If that's real, by the way, because again, I don't know. I don't know how much I'm buying it, because before it said tariff revenue, it said Doge cuts. And now all the Doge cuts are wiped out. Was the Doge cuts replaced with that tariff revenue counter? Because if that's true, then that's included in the $200 billion that Pete Hegseth is asking for to continue this combat operation. Then you can take that tariff revenue down to $153 billion, because there's $200 billion gone. Just like that, just because we're going to war for Israel.
Don't call it a war.
It's not a war. Combat operation.
It's not a war.
So I'm just, again, this part of the show is about the arrests. Where are the arrests? We got an associate producer, Will, who's on the show, and he's always saying, like, where are the arrests? I'm just waiting for the arrests. I'm like, Will, don't hold your breath. It's not going to happen.
They're
man.
always the wrong people. They arrest the wrong people.
Correct. And that's what I was going to say about Trump, actually. I'm glad that you brought that up, because what Trump does with his marketing is he always does these like small things that gets everybody riled up, right? Like, no more paper straws.
It's good. Yeah.
America.
Yeah, America first, baby. No more paper straws. We're going to be able to buy like gasoline vehicles and drive our V8s.
But I do want a paper straw, though. I want a straw.
No, but here's the thing. What's funny, though, is no more paper straws. You're going to be able to buy your V8 car, and you're not going to have that stupid auto stop start button in your car, which I have on my car, which is annoying because I have to turn it off every time I get in my car.
Yeah.
But then we go to war with Iran.
That's a lot of burning oil.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, don't ever talk to me. By the way, Democrats who are pro this war that are backing Israel, don't ever talk to me about climate change ever again, because we can play that video again. We don't have to, but we could play that video again with the latest oil refinery attack and all the black soot and smoke that's filling the skies. Okay, don't you ever dare talk to me again about my CO2 output.
Yeah,
you
at least it's
idiot.
not raining black over here because of your Miata.
Yeah, correct. It was literally raining black rain and burning people's eyes because oil was literally raining in Tehran. Okay, don't ever talk to me about pollution. Don't ever talk to me about I can't buy this and I can't do that. But again, Donald Trump wins on these small things, but then he like blows up these big things. I don't get it. The Epstein file thing. Blew it up hardcore. Even if here's the thing. Some people think that he's trying to not release it because he's got friends that might be on it. Some people will say that he's in it. I'm not in that camp, because I think he was actually more of an informant. Again, Mike Johnson actually said that, and I think it was like he said the quiet part out loud. He wasn't supposed to say that, but he did. And I think he was more of an informant, and I think Trump is of the mindset of like snitches get stitches. Because when he was starting with his real estate empire in New York City, in Manhattan, okay, he actually worked with like mobsters. He like paid people off. His lawyer at the time, I can't remember, it was something Cohen, but he was like a mobster lawyer. Okay, like he knows that you don't snitch on people, because if you do, you're gonna get capped. So you don't snitch on people. But he like blows up the Epstein files. There's no arrests there. they haven't released the other half of them. 3.5 million pages has been released, but apparently there's 6 million total. Okay, so they haven't arrested anybody. They didn't release everything. He's blown that up. He's blown up the Iran thing. No new wars. Well, we're in a war. He said that we're going to do tariffs and abolish the IRS. Well, we still have the IRS and we have tariffs. Like, again, guys, I'm burnt out. I'm burnt out. I firmly believed in the platform that Donald Trump was talking about the forgotten men and women, the silent majority, the people that are everyday Americans that want their country returned to the way that it's supposed to be, that follows the Constitution, that doesn't get involved in foreign stupid stuff like Iraq and Afghanistan, the people that want the Democrats to stop lopping off kids' body parts and stop turning them gay and trans. Okay, like, this is normal people, but we're not getting that. We're getting the Iran war. We're getting higher gas prices. Like, guys, I'm sorry. Like, Tom will joke around about me being blackpilled, but it's true. Guys, I can't take it. I can't stand it. I don't like either side now. Again, that doesn't change that I would never in a million years vote for a Democrat. I would never be pro-abortion. I would never be pro-gay, pro-trans, pro any of that stuff. But what they do is they get you on the social issues. We get to argue about gays and trans and abortion and stuff. But then you still have Democrats and Republicans pro this war, pro all these things that actually affect you on a daily basis. When you go to fill up your F-250 diesel and diesel's at $5 a gallon, okay, that affects you. But again, we're losing on that. We're losing on the fact that that people aren't being arrested. Anthony Fauci is roaming free, but all the people that literally stormed the Capitol in defense of Donald Trump, they were stupid. They shouldn't have done that. Again, like Thomas said before, when you see a broken window and you enter in, guys, that's like low IQ, man. How would you not know that you're being set up? Like, I'm sorry. If you did that, like, you just had a stupid moment. And we've all done stupid stuff and had stupid moments. You get into the heat of the moment, the adrenaline's pumping, you got like tens of thousands of people with you, you get mob mentality and you just rush in. Okay, you were like set up. Yeah. But you guys went to jail, but Anthony Fauci roams free. Hillary Clinton, she's still free. What happened to lock her up? Lock her up! We all chanted it at his rallies. Lock her up. We had signs that said Donald Trump, 2020 and 2016 and all that stuff, and lock her up. Okay, well, she's still roaming free with Bill.
The only high-profile arrest that I can recall happening was Epstein, and then he died.
Yeah,
or got,
of course.
Whisked away to some other...
Tel Aviv.
Yeah.
He's in Israel.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Yeah.
Well, and here's the thing, too, is with that, it's like protecting an asset. Okay? You're not actually arresting people that need to go to jail. The only person that I've seen out of the Epstein files that is actually is under investigation is Prince Andrew. Okay, that's not our country. There's plenty of people in our country that should be arrested.
Well, and he's rich enough that he probably won't face a single
Correct.
thing.
He's part of the royal family. That nothing's going to happen. But again, like, same thing with mass deportations. Where are the mass deportations? I want millions of people mass deported. You have... Obama has already, like, in his 8 years, he deported, like, 4 times as many people as we're on track to deport in Trump's second term.
I couldn't believe that when I heard that.
Oh, yeah, neither could I. I was like, wow. But nobody cared because...
I was like, I'm a fan of Obama.
Well, in that regard, yeah. But here's the thing is Democrats didn't have an uproar about it because their guy was doing it.
Right. Yeah.
So if our guy attacks Iran, even though it's a stupid thing to do, are we just going to be like, well, it's our guy doing it? Okay, you're no better than a Democrat then.
Yeah. Well, that's why we're in the middle. We have Christian principles.
Everything is guided by the Bible. Everything is guided by the Holy Spirit. And if you don't have discernment, okay, again, like, nothing else matters because you're going to fall for it every time. Whether you're a Democrat falling for Democrat propaganda or you're a Republican, conservative, whatever you want to call yourself, libertarian, falling for the GOP propaganda, without the discernment of the Holy Spirit, you're going to buy it hook, line, and sinker every single time, and nothing is going to change. People aren't going to get arrested. We're going to continue to go to war over and over again. But again, with the mass deportations, well, that's not popular. Here's what we don't want to do. We don't want to talk about mass deportations. We don't want to continue doing the Minneapolis thing because it's just got bad optics. So we don't want bad optics because we want our guys to win in their midterm elections. So we're just going to like pause that, put that on pause. But we're going to go to war with Iran, which is more unpopular than mass deportations. That has nothing to do with America, but the mass deportations helps all Americans, Democrat, Republican, Independent, it doesn't matter. Whether you voted for it or not, it will help you. Same thing as if you abolish the IRS in favor of tariffs. It's going to help everybody. It doesn't matter if you like the guy doing it or not. It's going to help you. But we're not doing that either. I've got this video from Ron Paul, and I think this was probably around 2012, between 2008 and 2012. It was when he was about to run for president again. And it's talking about how Hamas was basically created. Go ahead and play that for me.
You know, Hamas, if you look at the history, you'll find out that Hamas was encouraged and really started by Israel because they wanted Hamas to counteract Yasser Arafat. And you say, well, yeah, that was better then and served its purpose, but we didn't want Hamas to do this. So then we as Americans say, well, we have such a good system, we're going to impose this on the world. We're going to invade Iraq and teach people how to be Democrats. We want free elections. So we encourage the Palestinians to have a free election. They do, and they elect Hamas. So we first, indirectly and directly through Israel, help establish Hamas. Then we have election. Then Hamas becomes dominant, so we have to kill them. You know, it just doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. Again, this is what happens when we get involved in foreign issues that have nothing to do with us. We did it with Osama bin Laden. He was backed by the CIA. We did it with Saddam Hussein, backed by the CIA. We did it in Ukraine, backed by the CIA. Okay, anytime we get involved in anybody else's country, we screw it up. And what Ron Paul would talk about back then would be blowback. The CIA, actually, it's a term in their manuals called blowback. Okay, you think that you're going to overthrow a government and you're not going to have blowback? It's going to blow up in your face. What's the consequences of your actions? We don't think about that, though, because you know what we do? When it comes to Gaza, when it comes to Hamas, we say, blow them up, turn them into a parking lot. I want to see it turn into glass. Okay, there's still kids there. There's still innocent civilians. I could play you a video of before and after, and it's literally, it looks like an apocalypse happened. It's just rubble. Is Hamas bad? Yeah, obviously. Is Hezbollah bad in Lebanon? Yeah, obviously. Are the mullahs in Iran bad? Yes, obviously. But Benjamin Netanyahu and Israel are bad as well. So why are we picking a side? In the Iraq versus Iran war, why would you pick a side? Why can't we pick us? Picking America first means everybody else can go do their nonsense. It doesn't affect us. We have enough resources in America to where we can be self-reliant and not depend on other countries for oil, for minerals, for whatever it happens to be. We can take care of ourselves. Why are we always getting involved in everybody else's business? It's because we see ourselves as superior and we have to get involved because we're the policemen of the world. But guess what? Nobody likes the cops. Right, Brent?
Yeah, right. But they only call us when you need us.
Yeah, and even when they call you, it's like Tom has talked about before. They call you. They're the ones who call you. You show up. And then they start trying to like attack you.
Yeah, get out of my house. Okay, but why am I here?
So again, why are we trying to be that for the rest of the world? Why are we trying to police everything? Why are we trying to control everything? How about this? How about you get your house in order? How about you take care of the homelessness issue in our country? How about you take care of the veterans who have blown off limbs or PTSD? How about you take care of the fact that we're $39 trillion in debt? How about you fix the issue of, again, there not being a fully built border wall? How about you fix all those issues? And then maybe we can take a look at things outside of the country that might affect us.
Yeah, like I can understand having some military bases strategically in certain parts of the world,
totally,
like with allied countries. That's one thing. But like waging full-scale military operation.
Right, of course.
Against Iran, to me, yeah, that's not the same.
Well, and why do we have bases in countries that hate us?
Yeah.
Okay, we are invaders. Would you be okay with China having military bases here?
Canada is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know your native land. Yeah. Would you be okay with China having bases here? Would you be okay with Iran having bases here? Well, then why are we okay with us having bases in their country and then expect for them to be okay with it? It doesn't make any sense. So I had that video play for you about Hamas because of the fact that now Hamas is regrouping in Gaza since we're all distracted by Iran. So what's going to happen here? Are we going to be on a multi-front war now? We're attacking Iran, and then Hamas is going to regain strength, so we're going to attack Gaza again. And, maybe the West Bank will do that for Israel. And then, we got to help them with Hezbollah in Lebanon, so we're going to attack that. What is this, like a never-ending, stupid war?
Aaron, you're just mad because you didn't buy stock in Raytheon.
Yeah, I know. I should have. And here's, it's funny. I was actually telling Tom this. It was a couple weeks or months ago. I can't remember. The time flies by so fast. But we were talking about COVID. And I initially actually bought stock in, what was it? It wasn't, it was Moderna. I bought Moderna stock. Just because I was going to play their game. It's like the Nancy Pelosi stock tracker where you can basically buy the same stocks that she does so that you can get rich.
I need to get on that.
You do. It's actually a website. You go to, I think it's nancypelosistocktracker.com, and you can literally see every trade she does. So if you have money to trade in stocks, just follow her and you'll become a billionaire. But I had Moderna stock, and then I actually got convicted by the Holy Spirit to sell it because basically what he said to me was like, you really are going to make money off of the deaths of these people? And I was like, okay, I can't have their blood on my hands. I got to sell it. And I literally sold it like 2 weeks before they came out with the vaccine. And their stock jumped like 400% or something like that. And I would have made a bunch of money. I didn't even have that much money into it, but I had it, and I could have made a bunch of money. But it's not worth it.
It's blood money.
It is. It is blood money. So again, like, yeah, I'm mad that I didn't buy Raytheon stock or who is Boeing or not Boeing? What's the?
Isn't there like Honeywell?
Honeywell is another one, and there's another
Lockheed.
one. Lockheed Martin. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna invest in those companies so that when we go to war and kill a bunch of innocent civilians, that I can get rich. Okay, that's what Democrats do. I'm not playing that game. I'm not into that. So what do we get in return for all this? Well, we get skyrocketing gas prices. We get economic pain again. Pre-war prices for crude oil was $70 a barrel. The U.S. gas average was $2.98 a gallon. Well, as of March 18th, it's $110 a barrel, which is up 65%. And the national average is $3.84, so like $1 up, and $5 a gallon for diesel. Again, people will say, well, short-term pain for long-term gain and all that, and they'll repeat the narrative, they'll repeat the propaganda and stuff. But again, that's not very America first. I thought it was going to be our interests only. But that's okay, because here's the thing. I've got this next clip, and this is going to be our last video of the night, and then we're going to go into the chats. If you haven't put up a Rumble chat, $5 or more, we're going to read it out. We'll have Grok read it. And if you didn't get a question in, if you want to ask me a question, or if you just want to give a comment, do that now, because you got to put it in. You got to put it in before we get to it, because there's sometimes people, we're right at the end of the show, and I'm like watching your guys' Rumble rants come in, and right as we end the show, somebody puts in a Rumble rant, and I'm like, we couldn't read it. So just make sure you do it right now before we get to that. But I'm going to show you some good news, though. For all those people that are still super pro-MAGA and pro-Trump and all that stuff, you're in good company. Play it for me.
And this is one of those, because just take a look here. MAGA GOP view of Trump. Approve 100%. 100%.
Whoa!
If you are a member of MAGA in the GOP, you approve of Donald John Trump. 0% say that they disapprove.
This is right
you
now.
don't have to be a mathematical genius to know you can't go higher than 100%. He is the 1972 Miami Dolphins.
1972 Miami Dolphins. He's undefeated. 100% of MAGA approve of Donald Trump. Guys,
what are we missing here?
this is propaganda, okay? Like, I'm a MAGA conservative, okay? I'm actually more conservative than MAGA. I can't actually put MAGA on me. I can't label myself as MAGA because I'm actually more conservative than MAGA. But America First is a way better term than Make America Great Again because it's kind of just been hijacked by like pro-Iran war hawks. Okay, Kim Jong-un is jealous of that number, 100%. Put that side by side, that number. That's great. I love that. Okay, Kim Jong-un is jealous of that because he just won his election with 83% voting in favor of Kim Jong-un. Kim Jong-un doesn't even get 100%, but Donald Trump does. So it's okay. I'm wrong. Anybody who agrees with me is wrong because 100% approve of everything.
They're not
that Donald
counting
Trump
you.
does.
You're not MAGA.
I'm not
anymore.
MAGA. I'm fake MAGA.
You're not Make America Great Again.
I know.
anymore.
I'm not anymore. Well, we found that out with the first Iran strike in what was it, July or June of 2025. We called that out and we said we didn't want to, be pro any type of war with that. And by the way, again, for all the people who are pro the first attack and said that it wasn't going to be a war, and then months went by and they were like, see, it wasn't a war. It was just a strike.
Dude, I know.
Are we justified now? Are we justified now? Because I was saying, it's going to be a war. When you strike another country with bombs, it's going to be a war. Yeah. When you have a Pearl Harbor happen, you're going to go to war.
Being right has never felt so bad.
Oh, I know. Again, because you're in between two camps. If you're right in your camp, then you get to celebrate. You get to have victory laps and dunk on the other team and stuff. But when you don't really have a team and you're just pro-Jesus, pro-the Bible, and pro-America First policies, okay, well, you don't really have a lot of company. Because we can disagree on what America First even means. I can say that America First means A, and you could say that it's B, but at least we're focused on America. Okay, well, again, there's no real team for that. I'm a pro-Constitution guy. Okay, again, I brought it up already. The Congress is supposed to vote to go to war. Okay, they relinquished that right in 1973 with the War Powers Act. There's so many things that they've given up. There's a reason why Congress is supposed to do it, because Congress is supposed to be the direct representation of you and I. The president is not a direct representation of you and I. The president is like a CEO of a company, and you try to pick the CEO that makes the most sense to run the country, the company. Okay, but if he falters and he goes against your interests, then you have the board of directors, which would be Congress, say, we're going to rein in the CEO, and we're going to say that you actually can't do that, and the board votes, and they say, no, sorry, CEO, you can't do that. Well, Congress doesn't do anything anymore. Did you know that the Senate, it was not supposed to be voted in by you and I? Okay, we've changed the Constitution. It doesn't mean anything anymore. Nobody follows it. Nobody cares about it. I do. I'm sure there's people that are watching that do. But they don't care anymore. The Senate was supposed to represent the states, not the people. The Congress is supposed to represent the people. That's why they're based off of population. The Senate is based off of 2 per state. So what's in the best interest of the state, the Senate would vote for. What's in the best interest of the people, the Congress would vote for. And then if the president that even you voted for does something that you're against, the Congress can then say, no, you're actually not going to do that because the people are against it. The president, again, can say, screw off. I'm going to veto that bill. But if the majority of Congress agrees that what the president is doing is wrong, they can overturn that veto. Congress is actually supposed to be more powerful than the presidency and the judicial branch. People say that it's 3 equally power branches. It's not. It's supposed to be the Congress first, again, because that's the direct representation of the people, then the executive branch with the president, and then the judicial branch, who is supposed to keep in check and in line the president, the executive branch, and the Congress, to make sure that they know, hey, you're supposed to be pro-Constitution. I'm letting you know that that's not constitutional. And then the Congress should go, oh, my bad. That's against the Constitution. Let's remake that draft and let's fix that.
What fantasy books have you been reading, man?
The Constitution, I know. It's crazy. It's like again, nobody knows about any of this. It's like we've just been brainwashed into thinking that the president can do whatever he wants and that Congress has no responsibility for anything. They can try to pass things, they can, whatever, but nothing happens. They passed that the Epstein files should be fully released and unredacted. That hasn't happened, but they passed it. Okay, well, nothing's happening. Nothing's happening with the war except for the fact that we're in it and Congress didn't vote for it. The last war that they actually approved was World War II, and we've been in multiple since then. But again, as long as you don't call them a war, if you call them incursions or combat operations or limited scope operations, then you can get away with whatever you want. And there's really nothing we can do about it. But again, luckily, 100% approve of Donald Trump's job. I know that was more of a downer show just because I'm like tired of stuff, but it's reality, guys. And the only way that we can change things, the only way is to actually know where we're at right now. That's the only way that you can make a change. If you want to rally for your team, even though your team is turning against you, by all means, go for it, but nothing's going to change. You're just going to vote for a different face of the same team, and it's going to still vote in their own interests and not yours. You have to be real. You have to be realistic with where we are. You have to be realistic with knowing that, like, everyone is flawed. Everyone lies. No one is good but God. Jesus himself said that. Okay, you just got to know, like, listen, they're politicians. They want power. They want money, and they're going to do whatever they can to serve themselves and their friends. But we can turn it around if you vote for the right people. I'm not so black-pilled as to say, like, voting won't get us out of this. You have to vote for the right people, though. The thing is that you have to vote for such America first, pro-Constitution people. You can't go turn against Thomas Massey, who votes conservative 96% of the time, in favor of somebody like Lindsey Graham because he's a friend of Donald Trump, who votes conservative like 49% of the time, and say that Lindsey Graham is MAGA and Thomas Massey isn't anymore. You got to vote for the people who are going to piss everybody off because they're going for the Constitution and what's good for America. That's who you got to vote for. If you're not voting for those people, expect more wars, expect higher gas prices, expect for no new border wall, expect for mass increase of illegal aliens into the country the next time a Democrat is president because we didn't fix the issue. We just put a Band-Aid on it. Expect all those things. I wish I could be more positive about, a bunch of wins and stuff. There's just not a bunch of wins. There's not. Nothing that really matters anyways, at least to me. I mean, there could be little stuff here and there. That's cool. The Save America Act is a great thing, but the problem, though, is, again, you sullied the waters by adding the transgender stuff and the no men and women sports, which, again, I agree with. But you've sullied it now because what Democrats can say is, well, we didn't vote for the bill because we don't agree with trans issues. Okay, if you just made it like a single-issue bill about having ID to vote, then you'd put them on record. And you'd be able to say, look at how many Democrats don't want you to be ID'd to vote. No, now they can have plausible deniability and say, really, the reason why we didn't vote is because of the trans issues. Anyways, that's all I've got for you tonight. We're going to go ahead and read the Rumble rants. Do you think you can manage?
I can try.
Joey? Okay. Just put it to me, and then you got to switch that overlay.
Yep. All right, we got 11 or 12?
Kill
12,
the bottom third there. Yep,
Sorry,
that's okay.
sorry.
Hey, listen, guys.
Run the show from right there.
This is this is the first time that all three of us have been in this position, so bear with us.
Okay.
Graffiti Bug donated $10. Way to go, Aaron. God bless you all.
Thank you, Graffiti Bug, for the $10. I appreciate it. Listen, I appreciate any positive stuff you got for me tonight. Again, I know the way that I think and stuff is not everybody's cup of tea. This isn't my show. This is Tom's show. You guys come to listen to him, and I get that. And I'm great at running it, but I appreciate it. Thank you, Graffiti Bug.
Jules, 21 hours, donated $10. You the man, Aaron.
Thank you, Jules21, for the $10, and thank you.
Robin Aroni donated $5. Go, Aaron. We hope Pastor Tom is okay. God bless you all.
Thank you, Robin Aroni. Appreciate it. And yes, Tom is great. He's just taking the night off tonight.
Hugo_Stiglitz donated $5.
Oh, here we go.
For an entire year. Would you rather be forced to sing every Sunday live with auto-tune on your mic only, T-Pain style, or drive a murdered-out Toyota Prius? Must pick one.
Honestly, if I had to pick between those, I'm going T-Pain all the way. I think that would actually be kind of cool.
It would be a new genre of worship.
It would be. It would be like crunk worship. It'd be like ghetto worship or whatever. But no, I actually here's the thing. Here's the thing that's funny is if you Hugo, I don't know how much worship music you listen to, but there was a period of time, if you know Elevation Worship, they had actually a couple songs where they were doing like this kind of like T-Pain auto-tune thing in the back. It wasn't the lead singer, but they had it kind of as like a background sound, and it actually was kind of cool. I kind of liked it. It was cool. I'm glad that phase is over, but it was kind of cool for the time. I thought it was.
A murdered out Prius might be cool if it was like one of the Prius Primes, because they actually take off real quick.
Yeah, but here's the thing though. Priuses just by nature are gay. So like if you said a Tesla, I would take a Tesla, even though I think the Cybertruck is one of the most hideous vehicles I've ever seen. It literally looks like a child's like triangular block with wheels. I would if you said Tesla, then I would pick that. Murdered out Tesla, they at least look good. A Prius looks awful. Anyways, go to the next one.
Skunk71 donated $5. Thanks, Aaron. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Skunk71. I appreciate you.
TX Billy donated $50. Black Pill Thursday.
Thanks for the big chat there, Texas Billy. Love you, man. I know exactly who you are. Yeah, it is Black Pill Thursday. It's Black Pill Thursday.
There it is.
Yeah, had to break that out. Go to the next
Order
one.
in the _ court donated $5. Great job tonight, Aaron.
Thank you so much. Love you.
Nated Dad 1 donated $100. Pastor Tom is the man, but wow, what a great partner. I really enjoyed the show, Aaron. Very nice job. And Cree Will commentary.
Yeah, thank you, Nate Dad, for the huge rant. I really appreciate you. You're in there all the time. I see you on Sunday mornings. I see you on the podcast. I really appreciate you. I got to meet you. That was really awesome. I appreciate you guys. It's not just about giving money. It's about watching. It's about supporting the show. It's about sharing it. It's about liking it, all that kind of stuff. We really appreciate it because the thing is like without you guys, we wouldn't be able to do this. And I love this part of my job. I think it's so much fun. Like being on the mic is a totally different experience for sure, but just running the show and stuff like that it's a great time. So I appreciate that. Thank you, Nate Dad.
Joel's 2100s donated $10. Great job, Aaron and crew. Hope Pastor Tom is okay.
Thank you for the other, you gave another one, Jules21. Thank you. Yeah, again, he's great. He's taking the night off tonight, so I appreciate you. Thank you.
Lead Junkies donated $10. You are speaking straight facts. We have been sold out. Did we just forget about the Charlie Kirk assassination? And Dan Bongino?
Yes.
How can you watch his show knowing he bold-faced lied? Enough is enough.
Lead Junkies, I've never seen you in the chat before, but I appreciate the $10 in the rant. Listen, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to say to people is like, again, we can disagree on certain things and we can agree on other things, but like what happened? What happened with Charlie Kirk? We're not allowed to know. Kash Patel shut it down. Joe Kent, again, not a huge fan, but Joe Kent tried to look into it, tried to see if there was other countries that were involved in it, and Kash Patel shut it down. No, it was Tyler Robinson. And again, like it wasn't too long ago that he was killed, but that's not in the news cycle anymore. This is one of the, and I'm not going to go off on a huge tangent because it's already 10:22, but that's a huge problem with us. Guys, we have like short-term memory. We only it's little pieces. If it's not in the news cycle, it doesn't exist anymore. Okay, I actually have a really good memory. You can ask Tom if you see him on Sundays. You can ask Joe or anybody that knows me. I remember stuff really well, and I'm just like, what about the files? What about this?
It's because you don't watch TikTok.
I know.
You don't watch enough TikToks, dude.
My brain hasn't rotted to the point to where I only have like 30-second memory because of like reels and scrolling and stuff, endless scrolling. I don't do that. I'm not interested in that. I'm a movie guy. You know what captures my attention? A 3-hour good
Shutter Island.
Yeah, like a really deep
Titanic.
Oh, Titanic. Don't even get me started with Titanic. Don't get me started with Jekyll Island and all that. J.P. Morgan. Don't get me started with that. Don't do it. Don't do it with the Fed. Yeah, but like a deep movie that's like 3 hours long. Okay, that captures my attention. But yeah, no, people forget. People forgot about Charlie already, and it's sad. Again, there was things that I disagreed with Charlie on, specifically with Israel at first, but it seemed like he was changing his tune, and sure enough, after he changes his tune, he gets killed. And now, for what? Pastor Tom said it the other night. We were like, both of us, expecting some like big revival to come from it, because it's like, look at somebody who was legitimately martyred. Where's that? Didn't happen. There's no revival. There's no actual accountability. There's no real investigation. Some guy that had a tranny boyfriend-girlfriend thing that jumped off a roof and miraculously put his gun together and took it apart and whatever. But as long as he's gone and out of the news cycle, then that's fine. Anyways, go to the next one.
Slyant donated $5. Great show, Aaron. Give Tom my best.
Thank you, Slyant, for the $5. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. I don't know. I haven't seen him in the chat, but he might be watching right now. Who knows? Go to the next one.
BP2TIM17 donated $10. Great show, Aaron. I believe I'm now black-pilled.
Thank you, BB2Tim17. I appreciate you. Yeah, it's, again, when you start asking questions, it gets to a point to where you're like, I can't unsee what I've seen now. You know, you go a little deeper down the rabbit hole, and it gets to a point to where, again, it doesn't mean that you're hopeless. Being somewhat black-pilled doesn't mean that you're like, oh, it's over, everything's ruined. No, it's that your only hope, if you're a Christian, which you should be, your only hope is found in Jesus. He's the only one that's never going to lie to you.
Amen.
He's the only one that sticks closer than a brother, that fills you with his spirit, that gives you discernment, that tells you things that are to come, that reveals hidden things to you if you have his spirit inside of you. Politicians, they're going to lie, they're going to cheat, they're going to steal their way into power. Go to the next one.
You're going to like this next one.
Okay.
Naz_Jaeger donated $20. Treat your boys to Waffle House. You earned
Waffle House, though?
Waffle House, $20. That's my wife. Thank you, Naz, for giving me my own $20. Taking $20 out of my bank account.
You're the best, Naz. I'll be eating it. Don't worry.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny too, because people will put in the chat, this is for, Waffle House and Applebee's,
Steak and Shake
and all that.
Zebra cakes,
yeah, for Brent. Yeah, we pay him in pastry. It all goes to the church. It's just funding the show and stuff like that. But thank you, I appreciate that. And again, thank you for donating $20 of my own money. I appreciate it.
This is the last one.
Last one.
You also might like it, Aaron.
Oh, okay.
Mike G1028 donated $5. Come see me at Tesla Fort Myers if you want one next month.
Thanks, Mike G. Thanks for donating. Here's the thing. Tesla's, this is the last rant, so this is my last rant. Teslas look super cool. I just saw another rant went in.
We're going to do it.
Teslas look super cool. I just can't do the electric thing, man. I can't do it.
Oh,
there's
come on.
There's multiple. Yeah, I know you're driving around.
Couple
that
more months,
Mustang
you'll be seeing
Mach-E.
it around.
Yeah. I can't do it because there's multiple aspects to it. One, it is a part of the leveraging you into. Come on, get it out. It's controlled by the power, and if the power gets shut off, then you don't have a vehicle, so you don't have free travel. But if you have gas in your tank, if they shut all the gas stations down, you still at least have one tank to get somewhere.
You're thinking too hard about this, man.
I know.
It's called insane mode.
I know. No, insane mode is insane. It's awesome. Like a Plaid. What's the
Model S Plaid, right?
Or honestly, the new Tesla Roadster that's going to come out.
I can't wait.
Oh, dude, that looks so sick. It makes me want one, and I can't afford it. I can't afford it. Not right now. I can't do it. I've got a baby that I've got to feed. So Teslas are super cool. The electric thing, and the price, they're pretty expensive. Go to the last one.
Kristen Wagner donated $20. Awesome job, and I just wanted you to say Kristen on broadcast.
Kristen on broadcast. Okay, there you go. Thank you, Kristen, for the $20. I appreciate it. Again, I appreciate all the encouragement, guys. I'm hoping that Tom's going to be back tomorrow. I don't know if he's taking tomorrow night off as well, or if he's going to be back. Either way, I appreciate you for watching. We're going to be back tomorrow night at 9 p.m. God bless you.
This podcast is all about. We talk about a lot of political things, but underneath all of that is the Bible. I am unapologetically 100% in favor of is the Bible. Jesus is the Word. There is no delineation. If the Bible says it, that's what Jesus is, and that's what Jesus believes. That's what this podcast is actually about, is to actually alert people to what is coming and what is our responsibility in the midst of it.